What's going on, y'all? I just want to open up discussion because we were talking about characteristics of a father, and I just want to ask, some of my followers that join in, um, what are your character? What is your opinion on the characteristics of a father? So it's open for discussion. Let's just see where this goes. I would definitely like some comments, please, so we can discuss this. I know what I have a general idea of a father, but I definitely want to hear. Hello, Tasha from Houston. We in Oklahoma City. What up, Tony? A teacher, man, that is a great characteristic right there. A teacher, because in order to teach, you must actually learn this. You must actually follow first in order to be a teacher. And that's a great characteristic. Tony, I'm glad you commented on that because I have some knowledge on that one. A provider. Oh, okay, a provider. Um, and seven gifts of a father. Tony, you touched on it, which was a teacher. It says teaching. It let's see, the supernatural ability to explain and apply the truths received from God for the church. So that's one great characteristic right there, man. That's a gift of a father, a provider. Yes, uh, provider. You must teach our young boys and even daughters of what a provider truly is. And it's not always in the financial aspects. It's to provide a service to the mother of your children, provide a service to your kids. You must serve, in a different way, not like slave or anything like that, but to serve one another. Hey, what's up, Tosh? So, I mean, what else we got? I mean, that was a great one right there, a teacher and a provider. I'm going to say a minister. Not only that, a giver. The presence. Yes, the presence of a father definitely has to be there. Um, your presence is the best thing. Like for me this morning when I called my children, I talked about it earlier on my YouTube, so this might sound repetitive, but it was calling my kids to make sure that they were still doing what they do here when they're at their mother's house. And that was get up and brush your teeth, Don't just get up and start playing on the tablet because that's what they were doing. I knew that they were doing it, but I called and I was like, hey, what y'all doing? What's going on? They told me what they ate and what have you. And then they were playing on their tablets. I was like, well, did y'all get up and brush your teeth? And they was like, no, we haven't brushed our teeth yet. Hey, Janet. And so I'm like, well, isn't that more important? And they, hey, Melissa. And they were like, no. And I'm like, come on, man. I can smell your breath through the phone. But I was just joking with them. But I was just being, holding them, teaching them accountability. So even though you're not here with me, you're with your mother, you still have to do these things because right now, especially at this point in time, uh, you can't go to the dentist right now, so you still got to take care of your dental work, which you got to brush your teeth, got to floss, uh, uh, mouthwash, mouth rinse. If you ain't got mouth rinse, use peroxide. Take the infection out of there, take the bacteria out of there. But all that to say this, even though they're not with me in the physical right now, they're with their mother, I'm still going to call and check on them. And that's what we should do as fathers and as parents. If your child's not with you and they're with someone else, just call them and check on them, see what they're doing. Make sure they're still doing what they're supposed to. Make sure they're doing what you have taught them to do. And even for the fathers that are not in their children's lives, man, this is the best time to get involved with your children, to be the leader. Like, go give the mother a break. Mama's been doing this for years. Go give the mama a break. Call her and say, hey, can I pick up the kids? It ain't got to be a financial thing. Just go bring the kids over into your presence and teach them some ways that they need to, especially these young boys, because they don't know how to be fathers or men to these women, to these girls that they're chasing after. So you definitely want to teach them, but in order to teach them, you have to show them and you have to live this for yourself. You can't tell them to do something that you're not doing. That's called an accountability right there for yourself. You have to be an example, especially when teaching these young kids. This music, it's not teaching them a thing. It's just leading them down a path of destruction, the music that they listen to. So we got to bring the real music back into it. We got to bring the real love into it. We got to show them better than we can tell them. Because what you say out of your mouth, they're watching you. They're not watching the words come out of your mouth. They're watching your actions. So your actions have to align with what you're saying. And that's how you store it into their membrane. That's how you store it into their memory. Your actions have to follow. So like I said earlier, even when Tony commented, he said a teacher. And I said, yeah, in order to teach, you must learn to follow. And that's what we're doing with our children. They're following us. So we have to actually follow what we say out of our mouth. We have to let our actions speak louder than our words. We have to be the example. Because if we go down the same cycle again, we'll end up doing the same thing to our children. Our children will end up doing that to their children. And it's going to be negative. So why not just bring the positivity into it and show our kids another way so that they don't make the same choices that we did? We have to hold ourselves up to a higher ranking, and teach our kids. Yes, you're right, Tony, be a real role model. A real model, not a role model. You're right, a real model, not a role model. But be their superhero and who they look up to. Be who your father called you to be. Your spiritual father called you to be great men of God. Make great men and women of God. So we have to help one another. As I said before in one of my videos, even if you don't get along with the mother of your children or you don't get along with the father of your children, y'all had babies together. So at one point in time, y'all did get along. At one point in time, there was love there. And there probably still is love there, but you got so much pride and resentment and hurt towards one another that you don't want to look past it, that you want to keep on living in it. And all that's going to do is fall into your children. And then your children, if they don't decide to go their separate ways, they're going to follow along into it too. So we have to watch what we say. We have to watch what we're doing, what we're listening to, what we're watching, because the kids are watching and they're listening, especially those who don't have male figures in their lives. Definitely right. Definitely right, Melissa. Especially those that don't have male figures in their lives. But there are men out here like myself. I'm one of them. If you need me to talk to your baby, you need me to talk to your son or even your daughter, I will talk to them and I will give them the best advice that I can, because I've lived this and I love what I do. I love to teach. I don't want to say preach, but I do that also. But I just love being a father, a real role model, a real man that's chasing after God's heart and that wants to seek change in this world that we're living in. So for all of y'all that's on the video, thank you for jumping in. Share it, like, comment, whatever you want to do. And let's keep this conversation going. Let's keep this type of positivity going. Let's open up the discussion for positivity. No more negativity. No more watching our little girls twerking to these songs and carrying on and stuff like that. That's not going to help them in life. Twerking and sending people your videos and your pics and telling them, hey, well, if you want to see more of my content, go to my OnlyFans page. I'm tired of seeing that. I don't want to see nobody else's child on that. And then for the young men, it's time to put the drugs down, time to put the alcohol down. You don't need that stuff. You really don't. You don't need it. It's just something that you use as a coping mechanism for what you're running from. But you got to face your fears eventually. You got to face your problems eventually. Chase after God, and God will open up your heart and your mind to a whole new meaning of life. That's what you need to chase after. Forget the money, forget the cars, forget the drugs, forget the, excuse my language when I say it, hoes and clothes and alcohol, all the materialistic stuff. Forget all that. Chase after your Father. Chase after God. Follow our brother Jesus. Follow him. And he will make a way out of no way. He will make your days that much brighter. He will renew your mind and renew your strength. He can bring back your mother and he will. Just seek him and chase after him and ask him to change your mother and your father's heart to you and change your heart towards your own children. This is what we should do. Change your heart towards your spouse or the mother of your children, the father of your children, whoever it is that has wronged you, has hurt you, whatever it is. It don't necessarily have to be related, like blood related. But whoever has wronged you, forgive them so you can forgive yourself. Because that's where your breakthrough is in your forgiveness. Forgive your father if he wasn't there. Forgive your mother if he wasn't there. Forgive somebody that has said something against you or wronged you. We got to teach these kids the same thing, because these kids, they hear what other people say and then they think that that's them. Like my nephew the other day got into it with a young man, and it was all because the dude had told him that he was gay. And I'm like, nephew, you not gay? Like, I mean, come on, man. You know that's not you. Why you want to fight this dude or shoot this dude? Like, this stuff has got to stop. We keep on killing each other. This stuff has got to stop. We killing each other with guns. We killing each other with our mouths. We killing each other just by our presence alone, because we want somebody to fear us. We want to prove a point. Like, that stuff got to stop, man. Ain't y'all tired of burying your loved ones, burying your children, these kids killing kids now? It ain't even the grown folks doing it half the time no more. It's the kids. I know y'all tired of seeing it. I'm tired of seeing it, so I want to see change. Let's get some brothers together, some brothers and some sisters together, like on the prayer line, and let's get to talking about this, and let's start putting it into action, into our community, into this world. Let's pump the love back in it. I ain't going to be before y'all too long, man. I love y'all. Blessings to y'all.